like to welcome Ms. Ruqayyah Bailey to share her story. And I'm going to share my screen and hopefully all of the technology works correctly. All right, Ruqayyah, take it away.
Welcome to my world, everyone. I hope you enjoy this TED Talk. I really have worked hard, so I hope you enjoy being in my world. Next slide. What is it like with multiple disabilities? Let me explain. I have autism, dyslexia, ADHD, and bipolar type 1. Oh my gosh. I bet you think those are a lot of disabilities to handle. Well, it takes a lot of work. With my autism, my mom definitely worked hard when I was a little girl to make me socially blend in with the rest of the community. And let me tell you, it was hard for her, even for my brother, which you will learn about later. And oh my gosh, my ADHD, without my ADHD medicine, I can't focus in college. I'm a college student, so it's hard to focus for me without my ADHD medicine. And me being bipolar, my moods can go up and down, up and down. And it's very important for me to take my meds because that's how I can function as a normal person. And I really thank HealthNet for providing the insurance for me to get the meds that I need. Next slide. My childhood as a disability. I went to Twillman Elementary, and boy, being in kindergarten at Twillman was different. I really didn't learn much at Twillman. I basically got taken out of Twillman and put in private school at a school named Storm and Stufflin, and I excelled there. I did plays, musicals, science fair, pageants. I did a pageant in '94. I got a trophy for it. So yeah, I was so excited about that. And I excelled so much. I stayed into private school until second grade. And I was excelling so well that in third grade, I was above the grade level. Basically, I was just above. Like when we did multiplication, I went through those multiplication tables like that. But definitely growing up with a disability as a child is hard. And, oh God, it affects so many different people in my family, but they were still there to help me. Like my grandparents helped pay for private school until it was just too much for us to pay. And also, if growing up as a child, I have godfathers. My dad died when I was 9, and my godfather, Corey, definitely stays in contact with me to make sure I'm happy and not sad about my dad. And then there's my godfather, Keith. Oh my God, Keith is amazing. He is just amazing. He basically helped my mom when I was born in 1989 and 1990. No one could figure out what was going on with me mentally. And the doctor was like, maybe she was behind because she was a preemie. I was born at 3 pounds, so I was a preemie. And the doctor was like, maybe she's behind because she's a preemie. So no one could figure it out. So my mom and my godfather, Keith, decided to basically take me to a professional doctor to test me. And the doctor said I have autism. And let me tell you what this doctor told my mom and my godfather, Keith, that I will never graduate from high school. I will never be able to read. I never live on my own, which HealthNet helped me live on my own now. Just stuff that I will never be able to get anything. I will be nothing, but I am something. Thanks to everybody who helped in my childhood, especially those like my godfather, Keith. Next slide. What is it like having a sibling? I love my sibling. I have a brother, as you see in that picture, of being real goofy and silly at my very last homecoming. And my godfather, Keith, shout out to him. He took the picture of a thing that's silly. And oh God, my brother is amazing. Let me tell you a little story. So I went on an interview 12 times with the same company because I can make something look good on paper, but when it came to actually going to the interview, let me back up a little bit, guys, okay? So my mom was like, your brother's gonna take you to the interview because I'm tired of taking you. I'm like, what? What? No, I need you to take me. No, no, no. Just in panic mode all over. So me and my brother got there like 20-30 minutes early before my interview. This was the 12th time. And he said, what are you gonna say in your interview? And so he said, you sound like a robot. I'm like, no, I don't. He's like, yes, you do. Here's what you say. And we practice it. And then I went in on the interview and he was like, what happened on the interview was weird to have me sign paper, which never, ever happened. And I'm like, oh my God, I think I got the job. I'm saying that in my head, of course. So I came out to the car and told my brother, he said, how'd it go? I said, I never signed papers. I think I got it. So we were going to go out for ice cream. But my mom said, wait and see what happens. And in 2 weeks, they called me and told me that I had the job. I was like, Lord, I was so happy. I really thank my brother for that. And he's helped me with countless things, like going to individual education plan meetings where he didn't really want to, or PCP meetings, which is personal center plan, which he didn't really want to because he has his own life to live, and catering to his sister is not part of, he wants to be my brother, but catering to all my needs is not something that no one wants to. They want to live their life too, but my brother definitely was a helpful and still is helpful in my life. And like, if he would be my guardian, it would be like ideal. Next slide. My transition years, as you see, this is my homecoming picture of 2005 and high school. I graduated from Hazelwood West High School, which is in the Hazelwood School District. My transition years in high school, basically, let's be honest, high school is hard. And a person with disability going into high school is even harder. But those transition years are hard on everyone, the IEP chair, because they're trying to figure out what will fit best with the student that they're representing. And my IEP, I had my transition IEP from Hazelwood West was different because they wanted me to do a job training program. Now, let's go back to the beginning of my senior year. My senior year was amazing, but my godmother, Kathy, it's the first day of my senior year. 7 years later, she calls me. I haven't seen her since I was like little girl, like 9, and she calls me 7 years later and asks me, I'm walking out the door to go to school, and she's like, I'm like, hi, Kathy. My mom's asleep right now. She said, I'm not calling for your mom. And I'm like, oh, okay. What's up? Are you calling? I'm calling for you. Do you want to do college? I said, yes. All right. She said, all right, then that's fine. And God, Kathy was amazing. She helped me with a lot of stuff in my transition years, college, giving scholarships, making sure I knew how much money needs to be in the bank. Kathy was a hero in my transition years, definitely. And then, so with that last IEP at Hazelwood West, they decided that I do this program called career training through SSD, where you stay there until you're 21. I learned a lot of stuff there, but I lacked in learning. I learned a lot of basic living skills, but the job skills, it was kind of hard for me to learn there. So I basically was like, I need to go to college and get a job. So what happened was the team at Paraquad Continuing Education Family Specialist, Stephanie McDowell, I contacted her I've known Stephanie since 16 or 15, and I contacted her for my IEP. I said I would like to direct my own last IEP at Special School Career Training Program. And basically that the teacher's like, I don't think you should do that, but I'm doing it. So we did it, and it was a success. I ended up going to college in the spring semester of 2010. I ended up, because they told me I couldn't do college or a job, and I'm doing that. I'm doing both right now, 15 to 20 hours a week of working, and then college. Yes, but the best transition years is and when my whole school got together to surprise me on track and field day for special school district, and Mr. Holmes, oh God, I love him. He helped me graduate. If it was not for Chris Holmes, I would not be a high school graduate, point blank. All right, next slide. Legal guardians and pros and cons. All right. Now, everybody, I know you heard in the news about Britney Spears, about legal guardian, but I also have a legal guardian. She's right there in the picture with me while I'm looking all happy I'm graduating, and she's like cheesing too. But we've had some ups and downs with the pros and cons, but she basically did not want me to, well, she still is my guardian. She wants to protect me from things like when I go in the hospital and they overdose me or try to overdose me, and I can call her and say, look, they're trying to overdose me, this ain't working. Or when I get off my meds and I need to get back on them. Or if I want to learn how to drive and take permit classes at Paraguay, which succeeded. I love that permit class. It helped me get my permit about 13, 14 years ago. Sorry, it's been so long. And I really, really love it, my mom, for being my guardian. Now, let me tell you, the police came knocking on my door, or my mom's door, actually. And I'm like, they said, who is it? I said, who is it? I'm sorry. And they said, police. I said, oh, shoot, I better open the door. And they said, are you Ruqayyah Bailey? And I'm like, yes, sign this. I'm like, uh-oh, I'm in trouble with the police. But it was them serving me with guardianship papers, court papers for guardianship. And then this man came by. I'm like, oh, Lord, he's with the police trying to take me away from my mom. That wasn't the case. He was my guardian ad litem attorney, basically my attorney. So if I wanted to pursue guardianship or not. And I did fight my mom against the guardianship because I thought that guardianship was bad. But it's not that bad. I get to do anything I want. I live on my own. I got my own paycheck. I mean, I get to do everything that everybody else is doing with a guardian. And I really appreciate my mom for sticking through the hard times with it. I was going to let me get married. I was engaged for probably about 6.5 months or 3 months. And of course, that didn't work. But, love will be found somewhere else. And she's letting me take driving lessons. And if you need any lessons, the name of the driver instructor is there. Next slide. The best job skills ever is Bloom Cafe. I love Bloom, but I also truly miss them. I would still work there. I'm telling you, I really, really would if COVID didn't shut us down. I learned so much at Bloom. I remember my interview. The day before, 2 days before my interview, actually, I'm like, VR told me about it. Mr. Steve and Ms. Bonnie told me about Bloom Cafe at the VR meeting. And I'm like, okay, cool. I can go with that. And I'm like, okay, I am going to write my resume. I wrote my own resume. I actually updated it. I didn't write it, I updated it. And then I scheduled my own interview 2 days before my interview, one day before my friend Paige had her interview. And she didn't get the job, but I went on my interview the day after her. And I was like so nervous, but I got there 30 minutes early to fill out the application. And then I went on the interview with Mr. Joe Wilson, and he was like very nice, and questions were nice and easy. And then after that, I said, did I get the job? He said, we'll call you if you do. I'm like, okay. So I walked to school because my school was like 4 minutes away or less from where Bloom Cafe was. And when I got to school, my phone rang, but I was cooking my lunch. So I didn't have time because I had to cook my lunch and eat it and go to class. So on the way to class, I checked my voicemail, and it was the hiring department saying I got the job. I was like, oh my God, I was so happy. I couldn't scream because I was in public, but I was smiling and like happy. And then my first day there. Now let me tell you something about my first day. I got there about 4:30, 4:45 a.m. in the morning, and it's dark and cold, and I don't have a jacket or a coat, but my boss, Mr. Jeremy Robinson, came and he unlocked the door. I was like, thank God. And I walked in and saw that beautiful place. And I was so excited. I worked at the first shift I had at Bloom was 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. And then one of the things I also learned, I want to talk about the things I also learned at Bloom. The things that I learned at Bloom was that from Mr. Joe Wilson, one of my bosses, the first boss I had, he said, Ruqayyah, I need to talk. He's like, oh no, am I going to lose my job? What did I do? What did I do? And he said, Ruqayyah, I saw what you posted on Facebook. I said, oh, okay. He said, you're not supposed to talk about negative things about your job. It wasn't too negative, just saying the prices were going up on our menu. He said, now the person that commented on might not eat here because you told them the prices are going up. You're supposed to always post positive things about your job. That way people keep coming back and, stuff like that. So, yeah. And then there's Chef Jeremy, who is funny. Oh, my God. And his cooking for our holiday party is heaven. Is heaven. I'm telling you, that food was good. But he definitely helped me realize something that I lacked in completely in my other jobs, is that I would bring my personal life to work. And you could see it or hear it. It was just, yeah. So he pulled me to the side and said, Ruqayyah, you cannot bring your personal problems to work, your problems from home to work. I said, oh, okay, that's fine with me. So what I learned to do is get to work 30 minutes early, sit in the break room, put some music on, and gear up for work. And then like 10, 15 minutes before I have to clock in, say, okay, do this, you can do this job. And then I come out and do the job. And then there was Sandy. Oh my God, Sandy is like awesome. She's like woman power, mom power, everything. She just was great. And then Lisa, my mother from work. I miss Lisa because she was my last boss. But Lisa, when I had problems at home, she talked to me. When I had problems on the job, she talked to me. And oh gosh, she was amazing. And my coworkers, I love you guys. I truly, truly do. You guys have helped me when I needed it. You guys have helped me with personal things and said that don't make sense. Dating information. So yeah. But now I work at Snooks in Bell Fountain, and I love my job there too as well. But I really thank Bloom because they gave me the skills to work at Snooks. Next slide. My career goals after graduating from St. Louis Community College. I have 8 classes left, and I'm taking 3 next semester, which will be spring clean 2022. My career goals is definitely to do social work. I really, really, really want to work in the community of social work with adults with disabilities or children with disabilities. I'm thinking like teenage on the bridge of transitioning into adulthood. Definitely something I would love to do. I also would like to be a counselor for high school students with special needs to help them learn what they need and want when they're transitioning, or even when you're not. Like if they're a freshman in high school and they're trying to figure out their life, I want to be that person to help them. My career goals is to be also on my own organization. I did have my own organization for 3 years called Don't Quit Group in camp, but I would like to start that back up and make it like, honestly, a company, a big company. I also would love to be the next Oprah for people with disabilities. As a Black woman for this with multiple disabilities, that's something I want to do. I want to be on that top of that level, but with my company, and maybe writing TV programs for people with disabilities to be in the spotlight more. I know the Good Doctor is in the spotlight for autism, but how about the Black people with autism? Can they be in the spotlight? Are women with autism like me in the spotlight, and other disabilities out there? There's more than just autism, but my career goals are definitely focused on the disability community and helping them focus on broadening the horizon. Next slide. The Black woman I shall become. Now, let me tell you something. I'm a Black woman with multiple disabilities. So I got Black woman and multiple disabilities. But being a Black woman is something I really like. I watched the Homecoming video from Beyonce and it was amazing. But I want to learn more than what Beyonce showed us. I honestly want to possibly pledge a sorority or go to a historically Black college, maybe Spelman, because that's an all-girls school. I really would love to go to Spelman, or Xavier in New Orleans, which is far. I know those are both pretty far from my family, but I want to spread my horizon and learn about being a Black woman. And the Black woman that I am is amazing. I have achieved so much, but that no one said I could achieve. And I'm Black. So it's a little bit different. But what I shall become is hopefully a graduate from a historical Black college with a bachelor's degree and working in social work. Maybe I might get my PhD. I don't know, but maybe. And I'm definitely hoping that I can shine a light on Black women in the movie and TV industry. Like Shonda Rhimes shines a light on different ethnicities, but I really want to shine a light on Black women and how they are portrayed in the community, or how they can be something great. Yes. Okay, next slide. Medicated me. All right, let me tell you something about Mo Health Net. Mo Health Net has been with me since birth. Okay. Since birth. When my mom was supposed to have me, she was supposed to have an abortion, but it was too late. So Mo Health Net helped her keep me healthy. She went to Planned Parenthood and they found out that I was losing weight at an annual appointment. So she had to deliver me. And delivered me. I was not doing good at all. Like I told you guys, I was a 3-pound baby and I had to go to the incubator for about 6-7 months or more. And Mo Health Net kept me alive. And I really thank them for that, keeping me alive as a baby. Not even a baby, an infant that just got born. And my mom couldn't even see me because she almost died giving birth to me. So she was sick, I was sick, but Mo Health Net had us. And the other things that Mo Health Net has done for me is amazing. Let me tell you, if it not for Mo Health Net, I'd be insane because I'm bipolar type 1. And with me being bipolar type 1, I need someone to pay for my meds. And that's what Mo Health Net helps me with. So without my meds, oh God, who knows? But Mo Health Net also, I have a comprehensive waiver. And my comprehensive waiver is basically how I live on my own. I get services twice a day from Eastern Seals, Midwest, and they help me learn how to learn my meds, grocery shopping on a budget, which is very hard for me. And they provide transportation to and from things. I also had, before I moved into my own apartment, I had CVS services. And I appreciate Mo Health Net for that because I had 2 care workers, one named Pat, and Pat was all about it. She was about getting me the best services. She told me that I could do anything I want. She helped me learn how to clean better. She said, if you want a man, we talked about boys. Okay, let's be real. Me and Pat talked about boys. And she said, okay, that's cool. You want a husband. So one day she came in, she would call me at 4:45 so I could wake up and be there, but she gets up at 9. It was okay with me for her to do that. But the man part, she said, came in the next day and she said, okay, you gotta cook breakfast for you and your mom. I'm like, what? And she's like, you gotta cook breakfast for you and your mom. So I learned how to cook thanks to Pat and Mo Health Net CVS services, which was through Paraquad. And then I got my comprehensive waiver where I was able to move in a host home for about a good 2.5 years, maybe. And we had fun. We went out of town a lot. We went to Florida and had fun on New Year's Eve on a boat and stuff like that. And then the caregiver I had, Terry Woods, was also through CVS, through Paraquad towards the end of my CVS services. She is amazing. She's not just amazing, she's my aunt. She taught me also how to clean very well, very, very well. She is the backbone of my family, but also very supportive of me doing what I can do and not overloading myself. And she taught me how to keep a schedule. And without that, I wouldn't be able to. I wish she could still be my caregiver, but I don't know if she can or not. But she is an amazing auntie. She is an amazing caregiver. Even when I got mad at her, she would still do her job. Terry is amazing. And Pat was too. Pat had let me tell you something. Pat had my mom believing, and I still think my mom believes that I could go away to school in New York City. Yes, me and Pat were looking at schools in New York City and Washington, D.C. And my mom's like, yes, you can go. And I really appreciate Mo Health Net for everything. Next slide. If you guys have any questions, please let me know.